Hello, welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. And I almost had to go to my list of shows to do because I'm running out of ideas, but an idea did come to me, so list still exists for another time. And one of the things I want to discuss, I saw pictures and back in the day, especially when we're at an airport getting ready to go overseas, and so where people had opened passports, and I remember one woman had multiple children, and the passport picture was of her children in a group picture. This is back in the early 1970s, and lately I've seen pictures on the internet of various passport pictures where even like the mother's been in the picture with the children, and people children didn't used to have individual passports. My dad had made sure my brother and I did have individual passports when we were kids. I got my first passport when I was 9 years old, and I was looking up, when it changed, and it said for in the United States, minors aged 13 and older were required to have their own passports as of January 14th, 1978. Younger children, it was still possible to be listed on a parent's passport until the early 2000s. After 9/11, international travel rules tightened significantly, and every single traveler, regardless of age, must have their own valid passport book or passport card. So that's basically when that changed. But I have seen pictures on the internet, and I'm not gonna show an example because I don't know who the people are in the pictures or anything. It's just for privacy reasons. I wouldn't do something like that. Although those pictures are posted on websites and on Facebook. But anyway, that's what I was reading out. Also said historically, family passports where wife and children were listed on a husband's passport were common. And back before 1937, a wife could not use a pass. I don't know if it was have a passport or use a passport without her husband. Couldn't travel with a passport without her husband present. Single women could get their own passports, and finally women's rights changed that. And that was another interesting part of history. But there's old pictures from the early 1900s of husbands with their wives in a passport picture, or husbands in a picture with a wife and children in one passport picture, and one passport had all the family members' names in it. Kind of interesting history on the passport. But now every individual has to get their own passport, and I imagine the difficulty of trying to take a passport picture of a baby. Best way to do it really is take a bunch, take about 25 plus of them, and usually one will pass. But anyway, that was a little history I could get on the history of the passport pictures. And like I said, looking for ideas on shows to do in the future, shows about preserving history, especially obscure aspects of history. And with that being said, like, subscribe, share as always. Thanks for watching.